Alright, let's... How about all you guys going on blue?
Excelsior.
All going on. Alright, so let's see. Burns plays a bunch of Firebrand, Mia plays a bunch.
I have the class. I need the build.
Yes, let me get that first of everything. I'll just spam guild chat to get people's attention. We have switched it not too long ago, a couple times, so check it out and save it even if you think it's right.
Feels weird not running SIG.
Yeah. Celestial's not bad. I mean, there are some guilds that run it and try to get a little damage out of their guardians, but your heal power suffers. But that's not a huge deal because it's really more about having concentration anyway. Okay, so... Yeah, we're technically in PvE, so the mantras are not charged here, which is weird. Alright, so we have made a couple changes and taken out SIG, so no more worried about resin people with that.
And we are running Mantra Floor all the time, or there's any other utilities?
Almost all the time. It's helping a lot for mobs, I think. There might be a situation where we might want a Wall of Reflect, or maybe one Firebrand might take Illusion, if they're... or not Illusion, Sig. But generally, yeah, Mantra of Lore. The instant Condi clear is hard to duplicate. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
There's some utility that is good for this. Alright, so I'm not going to go through the build too much because most of it's passive, but a couple key things I want to point out, which, let me ping the build once more. And we're in the arena, you guys can jump in whenever you get here. In the blue side. Alright, so that's the Firebrand build. Yeah, the couple things off meta is not taking Sig. We're relying more on the Warrior Banner and the Illusion. And a couple things that are clutch with this build are that trait. So the Indomitable Courage. You already have your group stun break as your elite skill. And that gives you another one when you go into book 3. As well as getting stability when you go into book 3.
I wield great
Right,
wisdom.
elite mantra is the group stun break for general use. The baby stab. One other thing is the first Firebrand trait. So that is a big part of the rotation for the Firebrands that is missed. Aside from maintaining stability with your elite and stand your ground in book 3, it's really
Knowledge
key for
is
you to be
power.
hitting your
Replenish.
heal mantra to proactively put on protection, resolution, and quickness. Because it's not just stability, we need other boons as well. And if you can pop proactively that and get us quickness, that's going to get our bomb off much quicker, particularly pulls and, range bombs, things like that.
Time to do some real
So
damage.
yeah, that 6th skill is not a self-heal. That is proactively hit it all the time, almost on cooldown to maintain those boons.
They'll have to hit much harder.
And then the elite working on saving a charge in there. We have to think about it a little bit more smartly now because they are chargeable. So you go into the map, you charge up your mantras, you make sure your food's good. Make sure your underwater skill is also a mantra. You can do that right now in the in the hero screen on that tab. So you need underwater mantras so that when we go underwater, you don't have to recharge your mantra all over again when you come out of the water. So yeah, we've got to get the mantras charged, and you have 3 charges on them. You can hit the first, it's slowly recharging. You can hit the second, it's slowly recharging. Kind of rotating between your heal and your elite. And then the opening passage, whenever we take condies, instantly hit that. But don't use the last one unless it's really press all your buttons, oh shit, we're about to die. Try to maintain that last charge, otherwise you're going to have to charge it up all over again. We can't see it properly here because, we're in PvE mode, but
If you hit Criff and get into combat, you'll have to charge your mantras.
there you go. Yeah, feel free to hit me. Yeah, go for it.
Minstrel Brand's not going to kill
They'll have to
Criff.
hit much harder.
And then just spam up your mantras and you'll be stuck. And you won't be able to use that mantra until you just stand there and slowly charge it over. And charging mantras mid-fight is the worst. It kind of puts you out of being useful for that whole time.
Choice, freedom, liberation.
So that's a thing, but there's always a but. That Firebrand's kind of a little bit big brain, like you have to think through it a little bit. This is one of the changes. The weighty terms gives you back a page when you use up that final
Respite.
charge.
Recover. Return.
And so we're going to actually go through that and make it work so you can see what it does and when it would be useful. Because there is a balls to the wall, use all
I
your
could
skills
outrun a
kind of
centaur.
mode that comes really in useful. So yeah, just jump into book 3, use up all your pages, and then you should have no pages left. And then start spamming your mantras, and you'll see you get your pages back.
I challenge you.
And you're back full of pages, and you can jump right in book 2 and do whatever you gotta do.
Great wisdom. Respite, recover, return.
So this trait is now the only way we have to recover pages, besides the last trait.
Right, because pages are slow. There are a lot less pages now, so they're valuable. And that's the big other change in how you play your books and your pages.
Respite, recover, Return!
So what it's seemed to be is that in our case, we can rely on warrior banners for some initial stability. We can get a little stability out of our staff Ellies as well.
Cleanse.
So we have a little bit of padding on
Freedom.
the early fight if the
Liberation.
other guys play right. And you can go in either with a stand your ground if it feels like we're still kiting and you might want to save your book a bit. Go into book 3 to kind of get that second stab. Because once we're within 1200 range, even 1500 range, you're needing to apply stability and Aegis on a kind of constant basis because you can get pulled. And that's one of the things I want to practice is actually defense against pulls because that's kind of a big problem. So with the mantras we talked about, you're rotating your heal skill, your elite for some basic stability, saving some of your elite for a stun break. That's wearing out. Then you can go into your stand your ground. You have a bunch more stability. That's wearing out. And then book 3. Now you have a bunch more stability. Then you have your 5 skill for more stability. And you can go ahead and hit your elite skill once you eventually need more. Now you used to be able to spam 1 for stability in book 3. You can't do that anymore. This is protection now. So at that point, you're in book 3, you don't have a lot of pages. So it's more important to focus on the 4 skill that gives hugely valuable resistance, because that lets us ignore a mob, that lets us ignore fear, bleeding, everything. And there's not a lot of resistance around, so that's your most important skill. So you can pop more stability with your 5 whenever that comes back, rotating with your elite, your 4 for the resistance, and then you're kind of running out of pages. You can't really mess around with playing too many reflects, maybe one of them, but the pages are coming slow, so you kind of have to at that point make a choice and probably just drop the book and get into your shield. With how it's working out with the pages, you have to play a lot more shield and a lot less book 3. Because they have the same function. You got your shield 5 up, that's the equivalent of the reflect. You have your 4 skill, protection Aegis, and the hugely ignored 2 skill, which is one of our main sources of fury.
Feel the fury.
Don't worry about the thing dropping on the ground. That doesn't even matter really. It's more the fury for the group. And of course, go ahead and get the 3 skill. Pull me with the axe 3. More.
I'm on cooldown.
All right. Yes, that's clutch. You can really change a fight if you can yank 3 people into the group. And even if it doesn't work, you're going to take stability off of them so somebody else can pull them. Yeah, we had used mace for a long time,
They'll have to hit much harder.
but the axe has a lot of value with that pull and the fury. It took me a bit to get used to, because it is kind of a cone-shaped effect in front of you. But yeah, go ahead and practice it on me. That's what we're here for.
I feel good.
There you
They'll
go.
have to hit much harder.
Yeah, just think of like a triangle shape going out in front of you that it's actually gonna affect. So then, you know, you're defending the group with your mantras, you're using your shield axe, and you can quickly swap into staff for a 2 heal. 2 is really good for saving squirrels and people that get pulled, because you can heal at huge distance. You can do a 2-3 combo for some Condi clear in there too. Take off their mob. And then you're really counting on the Tempest to do most of the healing. They're better at it than you are, and you're better at putting boons on than they are. So you're focusing on Book 3 and Shield, pumping out all the boons you can, and then only really getting into Book 2 when you need to. When you have nothing else or when we really are dying. You're in there. Still same idea of the 5 skill is first with the boost to the healing, Condi clear. You got your water field, which is good to
Replenishing.
call so that other people can blast it. And, 2 is a nice Condi clear. And in a oh crap moment, yeah, you can just spam all your pages at your group with the 1 skill and just heal them as best you can. That's going to be your fastest, biggest heal you can do.
That's how I do it.
And, then you're kind of out of pages, and it repeats. You go back to your shield. You go back to your staff a little bit.
So something I just learned. The symbol of vengeance, you can throw that down when we're stacking to stack like might with empower to get 10 seconds of fury for the initial engage. Get that spike off.
Yeah, that is a big one because it keeps pulsing that fury.
It
It's
does.
it's not just a one shot. And we don't really have a lot of fury because we're not running revs, and that's kind of a weakness in our comp. There's a little bit that can be had out of the Warhorn from the warriors, but other than that, it's kind of the only skill we got for fury. So it's key you get that into your rotation.
Yeah, you
on
could like
offensive.
you could stack 30 seconds of fury on your group. It's crazy.
You would like more revs in the comp, Griff?
I mean, I like what Vindicator can do, and if we can get more, I don't know. I mean, it's only if they can provide the fury, and I think that's only if it's Herald.
Yeah, you can do it on Vindy. You just gotta take a different trait.
Feel the fury.
It's not really worth it because you're cutting your damage.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. It'd probably be if we switch more back to range. I don't know. There might be some kind of... It's not bad to have a few heralds, but yeah, generally I think we should be okay on the fury if we can get this axe skill right. It's just not being used enough. Like, people are too used to
I could
mace and they don't
outrun a
really just press
centaur.
that skill, I think.
Knowledge is power.
Book 1, really don't even, just don't. Like, there's a pull in there, but otherwise you're just wasting pages. So... Alright, I'll give you some
Replenishing.
stacked up, mighting up. So quickness with or swiftness, and then we might step to the right, blast some fire for more might, and then we're pushing in with shield. We're stabbed up. We're blocking. All right, so then there's that moment when you can go ahead and hit that there if we're doing a range bomb, because that'll buff up our casters. Or you can go ahead and hit it when we're in the middle of everything to boost, to boost the wells and all that. There's a couple of times when you can do it. It's just kind of, it's better if we're a little bit standing still because you want to maximize the pulses that we get, if that makes sense.
So we should come into a fight with axe and shield equipped.
Right. If you're not in book 3, you're in shield when it's close. Yeah. There's not a lot of staff. You're in staff real quick to 2-3 it up to get some quick heal, and then you're right out of it. Except the line. If there's a call for a CC, you're real quick in your staff. You're putting out the line. You're getting right back to your shield or your book 3.
History is mine. Recover. Return.
So yeah, what a melee push would look like Because, like, yeah, you know how the early game goes. We have to kind of bait out their skills, and, you know, there might be a stealth, there's some back and forth stuff. So that might be where we do get in Book 3, because you don't know how early they're going to push. So they push us, Book 3 immediately. We got to get out of there. We're kiting away, whatever. Alright, so then we're pushing. Okay, we're pushing back. So we're pushing back here. If I'm in shield, I'm coming in with this. I can double tap it for a heal. I'm dodging in. And then I'm hitting that 2 and I'm pulling.
Eat pain.
While I'm hitting some mantras. And that 4 skill as well. Got that 2, and just rotating in the mantras so you can continue, you know, keep us clean, keep us speedy.
Stand your ground.
Now, also be proactive with your dodges, and I really can't emphasize the heal dodge enough. Like the selfless daring. Where is it? It's really a constant heal that you can provide just by dodging all the time. And you should have Sigil of Energy on both weapon sets. So that triggers when you swap weapons, which you should be doing a lot. And it triggers when you go into books, which you should be doing a lot. So your endurance, your dodging regen is really high. So you should be able to dodge into a fight and heal us when you land. Do your stuff. And then you should be able to dodge to disengage from the fight and heal again. Proactively thinking about where you land, that, you know, wherever you land is going to heal people. Tempest has that, I know. Warrior has a dodge damage, but not a dodge heal.
Vindy has dodge, heal, and barrier spam.
Freedom. Liberation.
Alright, so that's kind of your thought. You're going in, you're buffing, you're mantraing,
Now you suffer.
you're dodging proactively, not just to avoid damage, but also to heal your friends. Of course, not standing still, staying out of damage. Rotating between Book 3 and Shield as best you can, conserving pages.
Challenge you.
And don't be afraid to use your Hallowed Ground either. We have a trait that buffs it intentionally. It's 10 pulses, low cooldown. So if there's a choke, if we're getting pushed or if they're pushing us, get that in there. And try to put it a bit ahead of the group. And try, you know, predicting where we're moving. If we're moving across a bridge, put it ahead of us. So then we're going through there and receiving continuous stability. And it's not horrible to throw on the enemy either in a big fight, because it's going to do something. It's going to get a little burning on them. And, you know, scare them a little bit.
They'll have to hit
I was actually
much
going to
harder.
ask that. Is that like a skill you want to kind of preemptively put it somewhere? But yeah, you answered that. It's good.
It kind of looks like a meteor shower to the enemy team.
Stand your ground.
So you can make them not want to be there, even though it doesn't actually hurt them very much. Because it is a larger radius skill. Like if I drop that on you, it looks like fire, it looks big, so you're like, shit, I gotta get out of there. But, you know, not wasting it for just that purpose. Like, do that if it also seems like the commander wants to push that way, so we can also get the stab out of it. Alright. We hit a lot of the big ones, just the general rotation, which is not that standard, but yeah, actually there is, though. If they're... Say we're under siege. Say we just need basic heals, and you don't want to waste books or pages, because you shouldn't in that situation. We're just taking some arrow cart pressure, you know, a few roamers that we're not that worried about. Your kind of basic heal rotation, if you will. Which, yeah, you guys, I can take a little pressure while I'm doing this.
Pain.
You have your dodge heal, so you're dodging around the katas or the rams or whatever. your shield,
They'll have to
double
hit
tapping the
much
shield
harder.
for the heal. And then you have your staff 2-3. You're empowering for another heal. By then you can dodge again. And then you can go ahead and get right back into shield and do it all over again. So in those situations, you shouldn't need to get into your books. Unless, like, they're really pew-pewing and you need to pop a quick reflect or something. But generally, you can cover with your shield for that purpose. Maintaining Aegis with your heal. And your shield.
Replenishing.
You're dodging. You're 2-3ing. Little empower heal. More dodging. So you can kind of continue doing that. That is your basic thing. You know, swapping into the books as needed, as something big happens.
History is mine.
So yeah, keep an eye on Aegis application and protection aside from just your staff. There's a little more we got to cover. All right, that's 30 minutes of me rambling. What questions do you have?
Swamp's typing. Stand by.
Okay. How do you break the habit of... Okay, so... Part of what's helping me is that they give you a red thing. If you just pop in your book, you'll see that red thing on the right, Dormant Courage. So courage traits are, you know, that's not applicable again. And that's basically the stab that you get when you get into it. But
Replenishing.
that's a bit long. So you get into the book, and you should be really kind of... You can't spam a whole lot because you don't have a lot of pages. So it's kind of controlling it for you in a way where, you know, you can really only do 4 or 5, maybe a 3, and then you're just kind of sitting there. So just drop it. Like, don't wait for the pages to come back. Just drop it. Drop that book and do something useful with your shield while those pages are coming back. Alright, so in Melee, boon reapplication is the thing. Aside from being proactive with dodge roll healing and little things like that, boon reapplication and getting the condies off. And a really big killer is the Amoeb. And part of what we've been seeing switching from Scrapper to Tempest is that Tempest does a lot of cleanses, but not a lot of quick ones. Like, you know, the cast time. Like a really quick one button I can press that will cleanse stuff. So when we get hit with Amoebs, which we're getting hit with a lot because there's enemy spellbreakers, there has to be a really quick reaction to that, which is your Mantra of Lore. So that's the one to start with when you getting hit by melee. Don't even... I mean, you should be... Oh, that's another thing. So in the party view, if you hit P, uncheck the view as grid. You really want to see your party. It's probably more important on Firebrand than anybody else. So, you know, go ahead and boon up and then see all the orange squares that pop up there. And that's what it's supposed to look like the whole
Time
fight.
to do some real damage.
Your job is orange things. Less orange things means we got hit by a rip and you got to put them back on. There's some big brain stuff with like applying cover boons, like, you know, less important things like swiftness and stuff like that to just kind of protect the bigger ones. But really the fight's too quick to kind of do too much with that, and you just got to pump them out a lot. If they aren't there, pump them out some more.
I do have a question. If we're in the middle of a fight, what's the best... I'm sort of trying to put hallowed ground ahead of us so we run through it, but we change direction so often, sometimes I waste it. What would your ideal placement of that when we're moving around be?
So, let's see.
So I kind of have a thought on this.
Pop it at the start.
You kind of over time will just know what your commander is going to do, and you'll kind of get a feel for where you need to put stuff.
Yeah, anticipating where I'm going to go or Ulrich's going to go or whoever. That's kind of half of it, because you want to put it ahead of us. Kind of like the swiftness symbol. Like we're not going to be standing still that much. So if we're moving this direction, I think, then it goes there.
But
And-
even then, like if you put it towards the direction that we're moving, us just running through it will give us a pulse of resolution and stability, which is already good. Even though we're not getting all of the pulses, we'll be getting some of the pulses. You want to put it in the direction that we're going, even if it's not the direction where we stop, turn, and move again. And learning that is kind of something you just learn over time.
But it's a quick cooldown though, so really just, throw it out there. You'll have another one in 10 seconds, so you can practice again. Just keep on it, and you'll start catching more people with it as you predict the commander's movement a little better.
And even then, if you put it down and you don't necessarily hit everyone, you hit part of the group, you're still doing good things for the group, and you'll just get better as time goes on.
And so there's another skill we could mess with in that slot, which is like the other consecrations. The most obvious is Wall of Reflect, which can be good against mag and such. But the other one, Sanctuary, has some good application for just CCing the shit out of people. Pop that on. Particularly because we're doing more melee. I've thought about it. We might try it one time just for the memes, but it's like a line that you just can't get out of, and people really just get stuck in it. And they have stab or Aegis, they're gonna move through it, but yeah, that's one of the other consecrations that's already buffed by one of the traits you have. So. We are against Roar this week, so it might be useful to try. But the same kind of idea, proactively putting it where you think the enemy's going to go versus where you think we're going to go. And that placement would be similar to the line. Like that's another thing to practice is the enemy's pushing us. You're still at long range, so you wouldn't necessarily be in shield yet. And CCs, or even if they're not called, just do it. Just get that 5 out there, because you're probably going to be in your stat shield or book 3 anyway. Get that line out there, even if it doesn't look like it's doing anything. It's taking off stat, or it's taking off Aegis. Now I have no boons, so it's just knocking me all over. And that is also something where your staff has value, and it's something you can do at the range poke moment when you don't have other skills to press. Don't be afraid to just throw that 3 skill out there to put on the enemy, even though you don't have a ton of damage. What it's going to do is take away their Aegis and kind of put pressure on their healers.
There's a subconscious thing with people when they see colors red. They typically move away from them when they're playing in Zergs. So you can kind of use it to push people in certain directions. If you put it down, you'll see the Zerg will kind of move away from it, like subconsciously.
Yeah, jockeying for position and intimidation and stuff like that is kind of stuff that we do without really thinking about it too much, but...
Chris, use a line on me, real quick.
Okay. You got Aegis, so it won't do anything on the first one. Oh, there it goes.
it seems to be not proccing the Aegis.
I'm sorry. It's just incoming attacks. That doesn't count for the line. So it is just stab.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the Aegis will block an incoming attack, which is a CC, but so it would block a pull from a Mesmer. Aegis would block a pull from a Mesmer.
And from a Firebrand.
Right.
History is mine.
So I actually want to try to pull you guys, and you basically need to maintain Aegis and Stab to not get pulled, but kind of separate so you're not all booning each other up. We don't need, everybody covering each other. Because the idea is you are covering 5, you're covering, 4 other people by yourself. So you're maintaining your Aegis with your heal, and you already know your stability. Stand your ground. Book 3. Don't even bother with books yet. I'm sorry, Aegis. Just Aegis and Stab from your basic rotation. I'll go and hit your burns over here. I see Aegis on him, so I'll break it. And let me try and pull. Immune. I'm gonna book 3, pull him. I'm gonna Sanctuary him. He's immune. Nothing worked. Alright. I gotta get my cooldowns back. Get Ritzy over here. Breaking Aegis. Trying to pull. Nope. My book 3 is not ready for a while. There it is. Book 3 pull. Quick stun break. And yeah, if you do get pulled, just mash that elite skill right away. And I mean, like, right away. I have my elite skill hotkeyed to my mouse wheel. If you have an extra mouse button, like, put your elite skill on your mouse somewhere. So you can instantly hit that sucker if you get stunned, because that's probably more important than Stab. He's getting us out of a stun. Chase, I will break Aegis. Trying to pull. Got somebody else. Trying to book 3 pull. Nope. Pull Sanctuary. So we can get out of that. Good. I can actually add my shield boop as an extra CC. Alright, Austin, don't let me knock you off the edge here, because that edge is still alive, so be careful there. Alright, I got my shield stuff up. Alright. Breaking the Aegis. Trying to pull. Nope. Trying to shield boop. Immune. Book 3. There's a Sanctuary. Nothing. That's what it is. Keep on that idea once we're within the fight. Swamp. Breaking Aegis. Got a pull in there. Nope. I don't have any left. Book 1. Book 1 pull. And a shield boop. Nothing. Mia. Breaking Aegis. Trying to pull. Nothing. Got a Sanctuary. Get out of that. Immune. A line. Nothing. 3 pull or book 1. And stun break it. Round of Thero.
Respite. Recover. Return.
Breaking the Aegis. Got the pull. Stun break it.
Stand your ground.
Got a shield boop. Nothing. Got nothing left here. 1.
Replenishing.
1 pull. And a Sanctuary. Get out of there. One other CC you do have is in your book 3. You have a 2 skill, which is a taunt. really don't ever use it unless it's just kind of. I mean, the resolution's not bad, but
I challenge
better
you.
uses for the pages normally. All right. Yeah, that's kind of
Replenishing.
a good practice run there. The other things would be kind of maybe reactions to a different type of bomb. Let me get out of combat here. Arak, do you have some kind of Condi build or Condi gear you can throw on?
Sure.
Just to give him a little taste of Condi pressure. Switch to my burns. There we go.
Is that awesome?
Okay. Got my burns ready. Okay, so you have your 2-3 combo, which is your most accessible Condi clear, because that's a blast finisher of a light field, so that removes Condi. You have your Mantra of Lore. Use that a lot, just not the last charge. Going into book 3, you have your 5 skill, you have your 2 skill. So, saving book 2
History
as
is
much as you
mine.
can, relying on the others for the basics. Good split up of 2 groups. Yeah, stay right there. Alright, so I'm gonna hit the group on the right. Let's get a little might here. 3, 2, 1. Hopping it. Let you cook a little bit. Just keep an eye on those stacks of burning and different things.
I feel good. I could outrun a
And another
centaur.
weapon. And a big bomb.
Stand your ground.
Time to do some real damage.
Crusher. Probably have too many in that stack. So let's split it up and try like 2 Firebrands. A little different trying to keep an eye on Condi than just boons and straight healing, but your Mantra of Lore is really going to help a lot out with that. Alright, so I'm going to bring the pressure on Mia. Here we go.
Knowledge is power.
Not really hitting you too much. Pretty good.
They'll have
Really
to
good
hit
movement,
much
actually.
harder.
Practicing standing still doesn't work. Big hit there. Hold off. Yeah, no, standing still is just a bad commander. I don't have any other way to say it. Like, if your group is standing still in the middle of a group that's bombing you, it's on the commander. Like, you have to move. Alright, defense against a melee bomb. Let me bring Reaper. So yeah, we just said movement is the thing. You already know about the stun break and the Condi clear, so when we get hit, you have to assume that, or when there's a call for move away real quick, when there's a call for, oh god, what do they say? Show back. Turn around, anything like that, that's, get the hell away from the enemy. You have to assume we got hit by a pull and an emote, even if you don't see it happen. You have to stun break and Condi clear to save the people that were a little off tag or, just got caught with a sleeping guardian or a sleeping firebrand, whatever. So yeah, stun break, immob, and dodge yourself back to the group, to the front of the group as far as you can. All right, Reaper it is. Got Arc as well, so we can reap it up. Yeah, let's still split you guys up into separate units, so it's not just too much healing where nothing works. All right, so sidestepping the melee, or dodging through it is really the options. Going backwards doesn't work so well. But as far as what you got to do, we already went over with the boons and the reapplication of boons. This is going to be reapplication of boons because we're going to strip you. So here come the wells. Get your boons up, and the wells are going to go away. And get out of there. Move. Quick res.
Rally to me.
I was the sleeping guardian.
All right. Now this is a little tougher. Like having two necros focusing at once is, and then I'm gonna give a couple scenarios where you're actually pressured specifically because that's happening more. Like the enemy figures out who the firebrands are, they have people pressure them specifically, they mark them, and then it falls apart from there. So yeah, go ahead and get your health up. I'll try to get out of combat here.
I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna save the wells for a bit, and I'm gonna tell you when those happen. You will see them on your feet and hear me say it, and you just need to get out of the way. Along with that stun break and that immob removal, just as a habit. All right, so this is a range poke. This is just staff hit. Coming up with the staff hit. There we go, from right there. At that point, you need to start applying, and there you go. All right,
Time to do
look
some
good.
real damage.
All right, so this is me focusing you and hitting you with a focus. I'm trying to corrupt your boons and turn them into condies. So that's worse than just getting ripped. Corruption is a bit worse, so you actually have stuff like that, where I take your boons and I make them into condies. And then you have to think about condition removal. If you get into melee, you have to assume we're immoked, so condition removal, the Manticore. Alright, so a range poke with focus. I'm getting your boons off with that.
Now you suffer.
Alright, now Chase, I'm gonna axe
two.
2. Hard melee hit there, you dodged most of it. Good. I'm coming back to staff, so staff bomb. Range poke on you. Just heal that up. Boons on. Alright. Now it's going to be bigger. I'm going to come in with the wells. And wells on you. Get the boons back up. And it's melee time. I'm going into Shroud. I'm getting in there. And I'm going to spin. Protection and Aegis are going to be really key there. I'll back off.
Need support.
I don't have Aegis on my mantra, so I can't just Aegis spam it.
Alright, let's get the next on the left here, Mia, and let's see. Range bomb on you, get some boons up. Invasion. Alright. Me, I'm gonna focus you with axe. Blocks. Stay back from the other guys a bit. Coming in with another staff hit. Alright, and the wells. It's gonna hurt. Get out and get your boons back. Alright, I'll hold back. And coming in with a melee hit. And I'm going to spin. Try to get out of the spin.
Sigging you.
I owe you one.
What is you guys health at? Let me ask that first. Your actual red number, your in the middle between your skills.
Yeah, I have 24k.
Okay. 26 sounds high, but it's not bad. So that's what I'm talking about. There's something in the gear that's off that's putting you guys at a disadvantage, because I can tell when I'm hitting it hurts some of you more than others. And I'm gonna guess it's probably some trinkets. You need really the right jewelry. It makes a big difference to have rings and accessories and amulets that are the right stat.
So I'm full minstrels with durability runes, and that's all I think.
Yeah, I'm running Endure as well.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It should be 26. So if you don't have 26, you're missing something somewhere, whether it's infusions or one of your jewelry or your staff, something.
I haven't invested in another ring.
Honestly, like, you can get a better exotic ring off the trade post. You can look for pearl or something, and you can get an exotic version that will get you some much better stats that will give you the HP you need, healing power, all that.
Or I could go pick up a black band from Bitterfrost right now. Just haven't.
Yeah, I know, and not everybody's fully geared with their stuff, but yeah, no, that's something to really pay attention to. You have to have sufficient vitality. Guardian is really hurting for vitality out of any class.
Doesn't Firebrand have like the lowest health for heavy armor?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. Even lower than some of the mediums, it feels like. Alright, I think there was a group I might not have hit yet. But,
Go burn, Stero, go.
Alright. Get your boons up.
They'll have to hit much harder.
Range poke coming in.
Stand your ground.
Alright. Focus burns. Get that Axe 2 in there. Good dodge. Alright, another range poke ready.
Feel the fury.
Alright. Heal up a bit. Get your boons back up.
That's how I
Alright, coming in with the wells. And wells. Get out of there and get healed.
Stand your ground. I wield great wisdom.
Alright, and the melee push. Coming in. Spinning it. Good. Try to interrupt. Nope. Good stuff. Alright, we'll back off.
I could outrun a centaur.
Alright, I'm gonna pick my Mesmer just to do a little anti-pull practice, but you have a chrono, I don't know if you do, but it would be easier. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much an hour of training. We've gotten some practice in, hit the rotation, a lot of different tidbits. Any other questions pop into you guys' head while we were doing stuff?
Nothing offhand. It feels like it's not as awful to play as it was back when you wanted to spam through a book or be cautious about leaving a book.
Yeah,
Cart.
it is. It feels good to get in and out of books. You have more choices. So I like it better, Honestly, it feels more interactive, a little more fun.
And one tip to before the fights, it's literally to watch the enemy group. We have Chrono leading them, so be aware of pools and or necros if they are on front, because when they are just about to do a pool or any range bomb on us, we do need to have that stab and all the booms, because if you don't, we will throw on the middle of them or out of a wall. So it's very important to maintain that first boom.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just going to confirm that Aegis works to avoid a pull right now, but that's one of the main things that we're missing is the Aegis to avoid the pull. So you guys normally have Aegis automatically just because you're Guardians. I'm going to take it off with a null field. And I got my pull out and got some. So it is really key for you to visually identify that Mesmer pull line. It looks a lot like a Guardian line, but it's, I think, a little more purple.
I think it's also thinner, like it's not as long.
So I'll put it out there again, about on the green thing. And so I'll ping the skill. So that goes out. I press it a second time, and that's when it actually pulls you. And, you know, I put that up on the wall. I press it the second time, people get yanked off, etc., etc. So if there's a Mesmer anywhere within 1500 range, you have to have your Aegis up. And, you know, stability, too, if you can afford it, because there might be 2 Mesmers. So a good Mesmer is going to set it up like I did with the null field to make sure you don't have Aegis, or, you know, whatever other skill they can pull to shatter off your Aegis. And null field is also purple, and it's basically a well that doesn't hurt; it just rips. So now you guys are boonless and pull.
Yeah, the Mesmer pull is actually it isn't as long as the Guardian line. So if you see a thin line, or a smaller line, it's a Mesmer pull.
But the good thing is there's no immobilize to take off. No conditions are involved on that way. It's purely stun, but you have to stun break. That's where your elite skill comes in. So you save your group from the stun, from the pull with your elite. Now, an extra Mesmer is going to throw in a Gravwell or 2 on top of that. So that's what this feels like.
They'll have to hit much harder.
Stun break. Just stun break and you can get out of there. Get some skills back here. Okay, I'm gonna come in from stealth.
I mean, I could see you.
I can
Didn't work.
Replenishing.
Now, once a Chrono's on top of you, every shatter is ripping boons. So there's a constant need for reapplication once you're in melee, because them and the Spellbreakers are just ripping everything. Yeah, we're in the same party. I guess I couldn't really stealth. Yeah, just like you did there. Just little steps outside of stuff is important. And you have a little room you can work around the tag. Just, you know, smart little moves. Trying to do it so you can keep your group in your shield range. Your little shield 5, just cover those poor people getting taken apart by pew pew. And I mean, a lot of times the group will move with you a bit too. If they see your shields are moving, they'll kind of follow that movement, keep themselves alive. Trying another pull. Grab well, get out of there. It's multiple kills.
I feel so vulnerable. Stand your ground.
Yeah, that's the current state of Firebrand.
I could outrun
and,
a centaur.
what
Time to do
we
some
should be
real
going
damage.
for, and yeah, I mean, if everybody at Firebrand is doing that, we should get a lot better survival.
So I found the trinkets on TP. If you search for freshwater pearl or
Feel the
shalcon,
fury.
you'll find the minstrels.
Yes, that's it. Freshwater pearls. Yep. Yeah, the runes of durability,
I could outrun a
sigil of
centaur.
transfer, and sigil of energy. All right. Well, yeah, we've got like 15 minutes before getting ready for reset, but
Choice.
let me know. I know there's probably a question or two. What any other questions that came up?
I think it's something I'll have to like try
Yeah,
in actual combat to see how I feel about it.
it's I mean, it's really easy to
Much
jump in a pug group
harder.
with because they always need firebrands, and you can really in a pug group. Oh man, you can tell the difference so easily. Like if you just come into a pug group and you're the only firebrand, it's going to be huge difference, and you'll
Replenishing.
tell the difference. You know, if you just switch to something else and come back as a firebrand, yeah, it's really nice to actually save the day. All right, guys. Well, that's the Firebrand training. Hopefully, Mia got it recorded for us.
Thorough.
For Pharaoh.
Thanks, Griff.
Thanks, Griff.
Thanks, Griff.
Thanks, guys. I will take a little break and be back for reset.
See you later, y'all.